Sumi Venkataraman will be up next. Greetings, Sumi. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about bringing business context to your data assets. So thanks for joining, Sumi, and take it away.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much, Brian and Adi, for that introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Sumi. I'm the Product Marketing Manager for Azure Purview. I'm really excited to be here and wanted to thank you for taking the time to really understand what we have to offer. With that, I'm going to, start my screen today. Let me present. So today what I want to do is, now you heard Gaurav talk about, how Azure Purview helps you to really understand what data exists and be able to, really qualify that data with the help of more enriched metadata. What I want to do is to be able to step back and define, what is the problem scope that we're solving. From a data governance standpoint, one of our fundamental learnings has been that the need itself has evolved, that the definition of data governance has changed. So for a start, what I want to do is to be able to step back and give you the perspective of what we learned when we engaged with our customers during the creation of Azure Purview. For starter, Azure Purview is a unified data governance that helps you maximize the business value of data. And what I want to do in my part of the session is to be able to help you understand what we mean when we say, business value of data and how we help you maximize that through the product. Gaurav showed this to you, and this is sort of grounding for us in terms of, how we think about this opportunity. On the one hand, he spoke about how there's a growing, exploding, if you will, volume of data that you have to deal with. But on the other hand, we also know that, our customers, and this is according to Gartner, 90% of corporations or corporate strategies will start to talk about information as a critical asset. So number one, you've got this vast exploding volume of data, but really making that data and converting it into those business insights, into those business decisions that are driving the business is the second part of this opportunity as we look at it. And this journey for us really started with the private preview of Azure Purview, where we started engaging with customers, and we started realizing very quickly that the definition of data governance had changed. When chief data officers or data teams or IT teams within large organizations especially were looking at data governance, there were two separate priorities that they were trying to bridge. On the one hand, they had to answer questions about, what data do they have? Where did this data come from? Can I trust this data? Is it fresh? Is it relevant? Is it accurate? And then on the other hand, when they tried, when they had a vast set of users, these could be technical or business analysts, data analysts, data scientists, or data engineers trying to access this data, there was the added question of, is this usage compliant? What about the number of industry regulations that I have to comply with? Where am I really stepping out of bounds? And when is it okay for them to access a certain piece of data? So with Purview, we took all of these input in mind and defined, 4 separate pillars saying, if someone were to really look at data governance, that these are the elements that we want to help them to really light up within their environments. First, we want to help them to, of course, manage that growing data landscape. Until you know what data you have and you are able to really embrace or wrap your arms around that, without that understanding, data governance is a very difficult objective to achieve. Second, there were a number of operational silos that had that had been created within these organizations over time. On the one hand, there were management silos. So, data stores were being managed in silos. And on the other hand, from the user standpoint, we saw that, business departments, so, finance data analysts accessing only finance data, marketing data analysts, or sales, or supply chain, or product, or even legal, right? Each of them were accessing different sets of data. And so they were coming to the board with different sets of business insights that did not necessarily rationalize. The third thing was that, we know from research that when data scientists and data engineers go in and try to generate those business insights, that they're spending an inordinate amount of time just finding, cleaning, and organizing this data. So really taking this away and creating a solution that can solve, so that data scientists, data engineers, business and technical data analysts can focus on, generating those business insights or driving those business decisions and increasing their agility was a key part of this. And finally, this goes hand in hand. All of this, whether it is the management of your data estate or making it available to users across the organization, needs to comply with industry regulations. And this, given the complexity of the regulations that we're seeing, has to be at a cloud scale and has to map that entire data estate. So we announced the public preview of Azure Purview on December 3rd. We had Satya Nadella announce this, and it was our privilege to watch, so many of you really reach out and, validate what we had learned through our private preview journey. Azure Purview is a reimagination of data governance. It is created to be unified, really bringing together data from across your on-premises, your multi-cloud and SaaS apps as well. It is created, as a hybrid solution. It is created also from the point of view of helping you scale and meeting your requirements, not just for today, but for the future. And so it is based on an open architecture. Fundamentally, if you were to look at the solution today, what we enable for our customers in terms of benefits is, number one, we help customers to really, reimagine that data governance, really take those discovery use cases, those compliance use cases, and solve for them and eliminate those manual ad hoc processes that they have in place. There are companies, of course, that are a lot more mature, have data cataloging solutions, even commercial solutions in place. That being said, really understanding that data landscape still remains a fundamental need across the board. With Azure Purview, what we help customers do, which Gaurav just showed you, was to set that foundation for effective data governance with the help of the data map. So automatically, with automated metadata discovery, AI-powered classifiers, as well as end-to-end data lineage, we're able to give you an understanding of what data exists and its relationships to each other. We also announced the public preview of the Azure Purview data catalog that sits on top of the data map and really, builds on top of that effective foundation that is targeted at data consumers in the organization. Your business and technical data analysts, your data scientists, your data engineers can come to the Azure Purview data catalog to easily discover data. And that's what I'm going to spend a lot of my time after this on. And finally, with the help of the understanding that we have of your data estate, we're able to unlock never before seen views of your entire data estate. It's breathtaking when you can look at your entire data estate and be able to tell where compliant data exists, or how data is getting used, or what is the kind of business usage that you're able to drive with your data. Azure Purview, in terms of how you interact with it, at the heart of it, and I'm going to be very quick about this because Gaurav explained it as well, is it's got your data map that connects all of your different data sources. Sitting on top of this data map is the data catalog, again, intended for data consumers. And on top of the data map, again, building on top of that understanding are data insights that helps you assess data usage across your organization. But at the heart of it, when you talk about maximizing that business value of data, it really starts with how you define or how you enrich your understanding of that data. Towards that, Gaurav gave you a quick sense of what we help you to unlock. But just to summarize that so that we can talk about this in much more detail, we believe that there are three key dimensions when it comes to defining that value of data. First, there is the operational metadata. This is what sits in those stores, and it helps you administer in terms of, this is the information you need to manage a data set. With Purview and its automated scanning, we're able to, number one, get that existing metadata, and then we help you to complement it further. This ensures that that data can be more easily managed, but also more easily utilized by your data consumers across the organization. The second part of it is in terms of the semantic metadata. This is where you attach meaning to that data, right? Like, what does this data mean at the end of the day? With the help of AI-powered classifiers, both built-in and custom, we're able to help you tell what that data should be, should mean for the organization. This could be, a classic use case is when you're defining the sensitivity of that data. So for instance, if it is a PII data, you want that called out specifically, and you use your classifiers to help you do that. We also are integrated with Microsoft 365. And so you can leverage your existing compliance understanding in terms of Microsoft information protection sensitivity labels that you've already defined, and then extend that using Purview to the rest of your data estate. Finally, and most importantly, and this, each of these builds on top of the other, which is in terms of your business metadata. Now, I spoke to you about the silos that were created, finance, going after finance information, or having a finance worldview of what data means and a way to address that data. So for instance, revenue could mean something for finance, but it could mean something else for marketing. And just that term could mean something else for sales as well. And so when you want to ensure that your data is used across the organization by a variety of data consumers coming in from very different perspectives, you want to make sure that they're able to interpret that data uniformly. So there is a process of rationalization. And many of you have already started on this journey with data dictionaries that typically, we've seen exist in multiple Excel files or even existing catalog solutions, which define to some extent what these business terms are and tries to rationalize it across the organization. But within Purview, we have a business glossary that helps you to really do this or define this vocabulary for your business users across the organization. And we take this information to complement the experience that data analysts have when they log in to the catalog. So when we talk about this spectrum of, there is an existing value to data and how can you really maximize that business value, it stretches along the spectrum where you define how you can, more easily manage it, what is the meaning of that data or what is the value of that data, and then complement it in a way that it can be maximized by business users across the organization. Here, I want to, quickly before going into the demo, I want to show you how this lands within the product itself. So here is a screen that shows you, the search result as your data analysts come into that catalog and search. As you can see, the semantic metadata, the operational metadata, and the business metadata are an integral part of the experience that we unlock for them. Your business glossary itself is a set of terms or business terms and definitions that you can steward looking across the business, looking at those different terms, their interpretations, and then rationalizing them with the help of one business glossary for your entire enterprise. Finally, there is, you can attach this vocabulary to assets in the catalog. So it ties back to those data assets that you have discovered across the organization. You can understand, what is the business context with the help of descriptors, with the help of, association within the catalog itself. And then you can bulk import or get a running start by importing business terms from existing dictionaries. And finally, you're able to really define by domain what are some of the essential attributes that need to be defined as part of a template. So imagine that if you had, business glossary terms that are owned by the finance team and the ones that they're defining, the custom attributes that are required to complete that definition for that term can be grouped together into a term template. So, for example, taking forward that finance example, if you were to say that, every finance business glossary term needs to also mention what is the cost center, what is the, what are certain ID information that needs to be associated with that. You can do that with the help of term templates, basically helping you to scale, but not lose the value that's associated with each business domain. With that, let me switch over to a demo where I can show you some of these things in action. So here we are in, I hope you can see my screen. We're in the Contoso Purview. This is our demo environment, and you're looking at the home screen of the catalog. As Gaurav spoke about, we've already hooked this demo tenant up with a number of sources so that you can see for as close to real an example as possible as to how this really lights up. Now, in this case, I'm an admin, so I'm able to see a lot more. You can, of course, customize the experience that your users will be able to experience when they log in here. Now, the important thing is, that when we're looking at a variety of users coming in from different perspectives, even just thinking about that search experience is really important. Being able to be inclusive of, the different viewpoints from which they're coming is important. So Purview does this with the help of a semantic search and browse. So in this case, if I were coming in as a business user and I were to type, sorry. Okay, we're back. In this case, I'm typing a term called customer. And what I'm really looking at or looking to find is a set of customer data that is specific to my need. But when I come in and search over here, I am met with 105 results. To make sense of this, we guide users and help them to really narrow in on what is the result that's most relevant to them. And we do this with the help of operational metadata. They could decide, what is the asset type that's related to this. Semantic metadata with the help of classifications. We have contacts as well. So imagine in a typical situation, you would have certain folks that you know of within the organization who you know to be the subject matter expertise or subject matter experts of that particular search result. But here what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the glossary terms, right, as a way to ground myself. And I click on customer again. And I can see that out of 105 results, I've now suddenly gone down to just 4. Now, within this 4, I'm going to click into this customer table, and I can see immediately as a business analyst, right? I can see immediately that there's a lot of information here that can help me to do 2 things. One, it can help me to guide me to say that, hey, I am at the right search result, or this is the destination that I was looking for. But also importantly, and this is a lot more subtle, be able to trust the information that I am interacting with, right? In this case, I'm able to see a bunch of information here related to, the classifications, etc. I'm also able to see, who last updated it. In this case, it's our next speaker. And then, we're able to see the hierarchy, but I'm also able to see what are the other glossary terms that are associated with it. Now, I know that I'm on the right path when I can see that these terms correspond to the intention that I had in mind. I can further go to schema. I can look at the lineage, etc., all of which, promote that both the interpretation as well as the trust associated with it. I can see who are the contacts, and I can see other information that are related, so that, if I were, say, a technical data analyst, I would be able to interpret this information and carry on, much deeper analysis if I so required. But let me, talk. I showed you how the business glossary shows up in action. What I really want to show you is the glossary experience itself. Now, here I am in the glossary tab within the Purview workspace, and I can see that there is, these are there are a number of terms here. You can easily browse through them. They're listed alphabetically, right? But let's see what it would take to maybe create a new term. Right. When creating a new term, I'm first asked to select a term template. This is what I told you in terms of, being able to really guide what that perfect definition of a business glossary term looks like, right? This is your ability, say, as a data administrator or a catalog administrator, to say, hey, whenever there is a term defined, I want it to be qualified by these annotations over and above what I'm able to pick up or what I'm able to define within the system. So you can really bring in those data stewards from across the organization and channel their business expertise to define a more meaningful business term. In this case, I'm going to select the system default, but as you can see, there's a number of custom templates that are term templates that have been defined here. Once I go in, I can define a number of things to qualify this further. What is the name of this term? What is this definition? Acronyms really help ground in the way that analysts across the organization would probably refer to that term, as well as other resources that can help guide folks who are searching for that term to understand what this term really means. Importantly, and this is something that is perhaps an understated need, which is that there may be synonyms. People may search for a term with different words, but associate that back with the business glossary term helps ensure that when they search for information, they're able to get to the right result. And finally, there are related terms as well. So if this helps you to associate other business terms that this business glossary term is related to. Again, this guides not just the business user, but also helps them to trust it more. And then finally, you can explicitly mention who are the stewards and who are the experts who need to weigh in on the definition of this term. You can manage your term templates as well. Again, you can use, we have a template that we offer you in terms of, the term templates itself. So you can choose to use the system one, or you can choose to define your own custom templates. Because every business is different, every scenario is different. We highly recommend that you take the time to invest and create those term templates that work for you and can really help your business maximize that value of data. With that, I'm going to switch back. We have some, so just a quick recap. We spoke about the business problem that Purview is trying to solve overall. We spoke about, what we mean by business value of data. And I also showed you how we help you to maximize that business value of data. We have some exciting news coming up, and, we'd highly urge you to please, join us at Ignite to get a lowdown on what we're going to announce. Ignite is on March 2nd to 4th, and you can go to ignite.microsoft.com and, just sign up for one of the sessions on Purview. We look forward to meeting you there, and we look forward to communicating, a lot of the great news that we have landing there. With that, I want to hand the mic back, and I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you today.
Great. Thanks. Hey, just to add, you mentioned Ignite. Ignite is free this year. Yeah. Usually the in-person event is, there's a fee, but Ignite is online and it's free. So please do check that out. Just search Microsoft Ignite in your favorite search engine and you'll you'll find it and sign up. There's our great sessions on Purview and, of course, many, many other topics as well. So, Addie, did you have anything to add regarding this session?
Yes, Sumi, first of all, thank you so much for walking us through it. I just want to mention that we just got a glimpse of what's coming up in Ignite. So in case you missed it, right? Yeah. So there's going to be some great announcements, so that's exciting for us to get a glimpse before everyone else. So yes, we have a few questions. The first one is there a way for us to automatically set the business terms in the Purview catalog, in the Purview catalog?
Let me see if I can understand. Do you mind, just elaborating a little bit more on that?
Yes. So can we stamp this business terms that we use, that we have in the catalog, in an automated way, so we won't need to redo the computation or redo the calculation of the data map itself, or if you want to search for specific terms, is there a way for us to have that automatically without the need to maybe go and create a new templates every time from scratch?
Yeah. So the once you associate it with the data asset, that's a really easy way to ensure that it's always up to date and associated with the latest data. The other thing is that the term templates really help you to define what those terms are, and then really qualify everything around that piece of data that's required for the broader set of users to be able to go and use that business term effectively.
Cool, that's awesome. Another question is, can you import existing data dictionaries into Purview catalog?
Yep, you can do that, and you can whether it's an Excel or CSV file, you can import those data dictionaries into Purview, and you can get that running start. In the meanwhile, we have great documentation, something that I couldn't cover and I forgot, so I'll drop the link. But you can, if you were to search for that, it has instructions, step-by-step guide that can help you to import those data dictionaries.
Awesome. We love guides. All right. Another question is, you've mentioned that Data Purview helps with data governance challenges. Can you give an example of a challenge that you've seen and how it helps solve it?
Oh, well, that's a great question. And I think, like Pratik, when he comes on next, is going to talk a lot about that compliance scenario. I'm going to let him take that question.
All right, noted.
That might be a good segue. So also I wanted to add, for anyone who has any questions in the audience, please go to aka.ms/learntv. We're live there right now, and we're taking questions. And also on aka.ms/learntv, I've posted some links, some relative links for Sumi's presentation on the Purview docs, and also a link to our overall page, which shows you all the links for everyone's session. And that's where we'll be posting the slides and the live videos when they're out later, if you're watching the recording. So with that, I just wanted to go back to the agenda, if I could, and just mention, thank you very much, Sumi. That was wonderful.